The beginning of every web developer's journey is usually started by HTML. Times have changed and technology is rapidly developing, and now no code tools are taking the lead. I still recommend learning about web dev even though no code exists, because learning about programming and a certain programming language gives you the ability to think like a programmer, which is actually one of the key concepts that define what programming really is. The art of programming is defined as the act of using code and logic to solve problems. In short, problem solving. Web dev is broken down into two parts, front end and back end, which we will go in depth later on. In front end, which is the part that the person sees, like when you're watching this video, is created by three languages, each with their purpose and functionality in the web. HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, for layout, CSS, Cascading Style Sheet, for design and styling, JavaScript for interactivity. In every programming language, you have some sort of documentation, which is like a rule book of how the programming language works. It shows its main use, its intentions, and gives you key terms and advice on how it needs to be used in the correct manner and in so much more. Actually, all three of the languages mentioned are special, because if we delve deep into how it was created, we find that it moves from place to place. It started off by a British scientist, Tim Berners-Lee, who made the original statement about HTML in this documentation, which is an older version, more specifically HTML 2.0, or it is called as IETF RFC 1866, which is the documentation of how HTML was intended to be used and how it works. It's an older version of this, way old, as you can see by the date, but it gives a clear understanding and it teaches you tags which you may have never heard of or may have missed in courses, like a HR tag and a pre tag. HTML is a simple language, but there are some parts of it that you may have silently developed questions in your mind. Like if you go further into the language, you'll ask yourself, why is it that you use a hash symbol? Why do you have a class and ID? What's the difference? Why does a less than or greater than sign exist? Why does this exist? These kind of questions are asked, and usually we always follow the course and we do the exercises. But understanding also plays a crucial role, as once again the job of the developer is to think and solve problems. So by using documentation, you solve the question and it helps to close the gap which courses often miss. So after the IETF RFC 1886 documentation, it was updated to a current and living standard, which is the WHATWG, which is created by Apple, Mozilla, and Opera. This is a living standard, meaning that it is regularly updated. Well, you have the answer. Yes, there is a documentation, but it slowly evolved over time. So which one should you read? Start in order. IETF RFC 1886, then go to WHATWG, and then alongside you use my videos and videos found on the internet. Don't worry, if you don't enjoy reading, I'm going to be making videos about the concept. as documentation is often filled with terms you may not be clear about. My name's Beatboy. Please share my videos, stay tuned for future videos, and if you have any questions regarding the topic I make about music and programming or any feedback, please be sure to drop a comment down below. Start a conversation and remember, be respectful. My name's Beatboy and thank you for watching.